So my name is Pelin Gurkan, just for some background. So I'm the pre-sales consultant. I've worked for Graphisoft for the last 5 years. So today I'm just going to briefly talk about who we are, what we do, and how we connect to running Graphisoft, which is like a free-form modeling software. You're aware of it. So hopefully does that work? Perfect. So I'll start my presentation by asking what is parametric design. And how we stand in this connection as Graphisoft. So the 4 names that you see on the screen, algorithmic design, parametric, computational, generative design, they all mean the same, okay? Just different wordings. And the first thing that comes to people's mind is when I talk about algorithmic design, they think about forms, so non-uniform shapes or organic shapes, but it's actually more than this. So it could be used for optimization, it could be used for preparing the model for manufacturing, 3D printing, it could be extracting the 3D data from the model, or you could just use it for like design variations in the conceptual design stage as well. So it's ultimately a tool that supports your decision making throughout the design process. So we're connecting to this free-form modeling software called Rhino, and I'm going to continue with what's Rhino. It's again free-form shape modeling software. It's used quite a lot in the architectural industry, but on top of architecture, it's also widely used in other disciplines here as well. So as you can see, it's for 3D printing, jewellery designers, or interior architecture, or interior designs, or industrial designers as well. So it's been widely used in different industries as well. And it works with what we call NURBS, so non-uniform rational B-splines, which means actually, so it's just a mathematical representation of curves on a computer. So when you zoom in, there's no data loss, it doesn't get faceted, it's actually the accurate version of curves and splines and surfaces as well. And what is Graphisoft is this, actually. It might look intimidating, but it actually is quite easy to learn. And once you know the logic behind you, it's actually easy to use Graphisoft. So Graphisoft is the algorithm editor. So you don't design in Graphisoft, so you just make some editable, let's say, so you just create the logic behind the design basically through Graphisoft. So through some sliders, the design will take shape. And like I said, it's quite easy to learn. Once you know what you're doing, it is actually quite fun to work with actually. And how the Graphisoft ecosystem works is on top of form finding, so on top of the design, so you could do energy analysis or environmental analysis, you could do structural design, simulations, you could prepare your model for 3D printing, robotic arms, and there's so many more options that you can use it for, to be honest, not just for architectural purposes. But, so how do we connect ourselves to Rhino Graphisoft? Like that. So these are the outcomes that you can have using Rhino Graphisoft connection into ArchiCAD, which is live. It's been out for 4 to 5 years. So these models, they're all built in ArchiCAD, by the way, so they're all the results from the software. But let's actually see what we do when you actually import Rhino Graphisoft into ArchiCAD. So everything is translated into native BIM elements. So everything will be coming in as beams, columns, slabs, which has some classification and properties assigned to them. So everything will have fire ratings, acoustic ratings, on top of the geometrical information like the height, width, or the structure, or the build-up and everything, or the materials. You'll be able to tag some properties to your elements, so they will be native BIM elements. And like I said, through the sliders, through the Graphisoft link, you could just have different variations, basically, of the same BIM elements. Not just a 3D model, but you can actually get your documentation straight from ArchiCAD as well. So you can get your sections, elevations, floor plans sorted, And any annotations you make on top, because the connection is live, so any dimensioning, labeling, any text, everything will be updated once you make any changes in your Rhino Graphisoft script as well. So you don't need to keep, baking your model, re-exporting, putting it into ArchiCAD, and the other way around. We could do quantity takeoffs and schedules again, using the live connection. So you could use again the capabilities of scheduling in ArchiCAD as well. So this could be anything. It could be, the number of brick calculations, or in this example, it's the number of stories, floor plan schedules, and so on. You can color code things according to the type of your flats or apartments as well. You could do these kind of structural analysis. You could graphically override things in ArchiCAD as well. So again, there's 3 examples: structural or functional analysis, color coded, or the last one is the floor plan ratio. Again, these are all coming straight from the Rhino Graphisoft connection as well. And you could do some variations, design variations. It's still coming from the same script, but it's just different variations of the same model. It's a conceptual stage. You're just deciding on the shape and of the form of the building as well. So why not use this algorithmic sliders? Just push and pull things instead of separating your model, having 4 different models. Or having the 4 copies of the same model within one model as well, which will increase your file size eventually. Or you could go one level up and you could go do terrain analysis as well. So you could bring in your point clouds, D57 files, or XYZ files through Grasshopper and feed it back into your ArchiCAD model as well. So you could do these graphical representations as well. So how this works is, this is a video actually, so if you could have me then with the video, sorry. So this is just a quick video of how the live connection works. The connection is both ways, by the way, so you could actually start in Rhino Grasshopper and feed it into ArchiCAD, or the other way around. So in this example, the native elements are modeled in ArchiCAD. So all these balconies and the facade is modeled in ArchiCAD and being fed back into Rhino Grasshopper, but through the Grasshopper script, you're trying to do some, let's say, optioneering for the same facade. So as you can see, it's instant changes, instant feedback. Any changes you make in your ArchiCAD model, because the origin is coming from ArchiCAD, it will still feed it back into Grasshopper, and everything else will be fed back into your ArchiCAD model as well. So in case you want some different options for either the facade system, or in this case we have both. So this is just the documentation for the facade, or the same thing could be applied to the balconies or the railings as well. So each facade could have different variations of balconies as well. Again, that's controlled through the script coming from the Grasshopper. So you could have, and you could have the documentation of everything within one file, which will not be heavy. So it's not going to be, you will not be waiting for that beach wall to be turning, basically. And I just want to continue with just a couple of examples, real-life examples, all from all around the world. So they're not just UK specific, but this is a library in Norway from Pelin Gurkan. From outside, it doesn't look really interesting, but the thing that makes this building interesting is actually the interior. So how the structure, how the beams and the columns are connected to each other, and how they're arrayed throughout the building. Again, that's been controlled through the Grasshopper script and the connection. Another one is just a mixed-use tower. It's a 42-story tower. The first 4 or 5 stories are just retails, and the rest is all residential. But the unique thing about this building is the facade. So it's got some louvers. The whole facade is retractable, so it just moves according to the sun movement as well, and the canopy on the ground floor as well, which you can see the image from the inside. So this is how it looks, how it's modeled in ArchiCAD, the same building. And if you just look at the real image, it's almost the same. Again, using the Rhino Grasshopper. This is again the structure from the inside, the same canopy from inside. Again, how it's modeled in ArchiCAD. These are all again coming from Rhino Grasshopper script, and this is how it looks in real life as well. So it's quite impressive. It's another library from FJMT that's again, it's a 16-story building. The first, again, 3 stories is the library bit, but the important bit about this bit is the facade system, is the shading system, which is actually coming directly from Rhino. So you don't even need the Grasshopper connection. So you could do live connection between directly from Rhino into ArchiCAD. You could do some energy analysis, daylight analysis through the Grasshopper connection in case you want to take it into next level. And this is just the image on the left is direct from ArchiCAD. Again, it's just a section cut through the shading system. This is again direct coming from ArchiCAD, so it's just a render. So you can do your real-time rendering in ArchiCAD as well. Another example, this was a student competition actually. So the first year when we introduced this connection, we just opened up a competition between students, and this was the winner actually. So it's just a bridge that connects 3 buildings of the university in Vienna, and that was quite impressive. So this was just the winner. It doesn't have to be just part of the facade, but it could be just an infrastructure basically that connects the buildings. And the last example I have is this. So we're going now. I mean, you could go wild. And it could be just not just buildings, but it could be the entire city or master planning, site planning. So this is Loop City in China. As you can see, it's combined of loops. It's just basically, it's easier to get back to where you started when you're going in loops actually, rather than going back and forth. So that was the idea behind the Loop City. But that was again, it's just taking the idea from movement, people's movement and stuff, and that's again a script coming from Graphisoft, but this was actually introduced later onto ArchiCAD as well, and it was quite smooth as well, so it wasn't like a big model either. But if you like what you saw today, you can find more information on our website as well. There are more things happening between us and Rhino Grasshopper, so if you'd like to talk to me about them as well, I'm happy to talk to you. Thank you.